Have you ever wondered why people come in so many different shapes, sizes, and colors? It's an interesting question, isn't it? And one that has puzzled humans for centuries. You see, the concept of race has always been a complex issue, and it goes much deeper than just the color of our skin. Let's delve into this a bit more. Did you know that despite our apparent differences, all humans are almost identical on a genetic level? Yes, you heard that right. When we look at our DNA, the genetic code that makes us who we are, we find that all humans share an astonishing 99.9% of our genetic material. Think about that for a moment. Your neighbor, your coworker, the person you pass on the street, we're all nearly identical on a genetic level. This genetic similarity goes beyond borders, cultures, and yes, even races. We're all part of the same human family, connected by the threads of our shared DNA. But of course, we can't ignore the fact that we look different from each other. Our skin tones, hair textures, eye shapes, these are all influenced by our genes too. But these are just tiny, tiny fractions of our overall genetic makeup. They're like a sprinkle of salt on a large, delicious meal. Noticeable, yes, but not nearly enough to change the entire flavor. And yet, these minute differences have somehow taken center stage in our societies, often overshadowing our shared humanity. We've come to associate these small genetic variations with race, a concept that has far-reaching implications in our world. But here's the million-dollar question. If our genetic makeup is nearly identical, why do we place so much emphasis on race? Why do we let these minor differences dictate the way we interact with each other, the way we view the world, and even the way we view ourselves? So, if we're all nearly identical genetically, why do we place so much importance on race? It's a question worth pondering as we navigate our beautifully diverse, yet genetically similar, human family. Despite our genetic similarities, race seems to play a significant role in our societies. But why is that? Well, the answer lies not in our DNA, but in our history and our societies. You see, race isn't a biological concept, but a social construct. That means it's an idea created and perpetuated by society, not something dictated by our genes. Let's take a moment to travel back in time. Throughout history, the notion of race has been used as a tool to justify inequality and discrimination. For example, during the era of colonialism, European powers often used the idea of racial superiority to legitimize the subjugation and exploitation of people in the lands they colonized. The idea that some races were inherently superior to others was used to rationalize their actions and policies. Fast forward to the present day, and we still see remnants of these historical misuses of the concept of race. It's still often used to group people based on shared physical and genetic traits. But here's the twist. Scientifically, there's no such thing as a race gene. In fact, geneticists have found that there's more genetic diversity within so-called racial groups than between them. That means two people of the same race could be more genetically different from each other than from someone of a different race. So if race isn't based on biology, then what is it based on? The answer is society and culture. Think of race as a social identity, something that's shaped by how we're perceived and treated by others, and how we perceive and treat ourselves. It's a product of our history, our societies, and our beliefs. In essence, race is an idea that we, as a society, have created. It's not something that's hardwired into our biology or our DNA. It's a concept that's molded by our experiences, our perceptions, and our cultures. Race, as it turns out, is more about society and culture than it is about biology. So how do you explain this complex and sensitive subject to a child? Well, let's start with the basics. Think about a box of crayons. You've got reds, blues, yellows, and greens. Each crayon has a different color, but they all have the same purpose: to create beautiful pictures. In the same way, people come in different colors, but we're all human beings. Now, it's crucial to acknowledge these differences. After all, it's our individuality that makes the world a fascinating place. However, it's equally important to stress that no color or race is superior or inferior to another. Just like no one would say a blue crayon is better than a red one, no one race is better than another. When you're explaining race to a child, be sure to use language that's easy for them to understand. Break it down into simple terms. For instance, you might say, "People are like flowers. Just as flowers come in many different colors and shapes, so do people. And just like all flowers are beautiful, all people are beautiful too. Also, be ready to answer their questions as honestly as possible. If your child asks why people are treated differently because of their color, you might explain that sometimes people are scared of things that are different, but that doesn't make it right or fair. Encourage your child to celebrate diversity. Show them that the world is a vast garden filled with all kinds of beautiful flowers, and it's our differences that make this garden so vibrant. It's not just about teaching them the facts. It's about fostering a mindset of acceptance and respect. It's about nurturing a heart that sees the beauty in diversity and understands that everyone deserves to be treated with kindness and respect, regardless of their race. And most importantly, lead by example. Show them through your actions that everyone deserves kindness and respect. Remember, it's not about trying to make them colorblind, but about helping them understand and appreciate the colorful world we live in. Now that we know what race is and isn't, what can we do about it? The answer lies in two powerful tools: empathy and understanding. Empathy allows us to feel what others feel, to step into their shoes and see the world through their eyes. It's the antidote to prejudice, the balm that soothes the sting of bias. When we teach our children to empathize, we open their hearts to the experiences of others, allowing them to appreciate the vast tapestry of human diversity. Understanding, on the other hand, is the key to unlocking the complexities of race. It enables us to see beyond the superficial, to grasp the intricate interplay of history, culture, and identity that forms the fabric of each race. By fostering understanding, we equip our children with the knowledge to challenge stereotypes, to question assumptions, and to celebrate diversity. When we understand and appreciate our differences, we can build a world where race is a source of richness and diversity, not division.